There he is. Oh my God.
Justice was done.
Look at this. Where have you been?
Same thing every day. Either golfing or walking the dog or both.
Haven't seen you at all.
Well, you haven't been around. You've been too worried about yourself.
Oh, that's good. So, you said Woodside was going to win.
Yeah, so he didn't. Big deal. That's not the first politician I've been wrong about.
Well, but you know, you said that Fredericton has never ousted a mayor.
Well, he did. Sandy DiGasento might have been. I might have been wrong on that one.
There we go.
But there was no issue. And it just because, 30% of the people voted, and that's what happens when there's not a big turnout.
So why did Woodside lose?
The other guy got more votes. There was no issue. So that's all.
That's it?
That's all. Well, what else do you expect?
But I mean, you were so confident.
I was not confident.
Oh,
I
yes,
said that we haven't ousted him, and he's as good as anybody. There's no issues. There weren't any. I can tell elections when there's issues here, and there have been. Like when the Core Party was time to boot them out.
Yeah.
You could see that was an issue. When J.C. Van Horn was in, he was an issue. So they got rid of him. When Doug Young tried to take over the thing, he was an issue. They got rid of him. Or he moved him up. Anyway, he didn't become premier. So they're sensible. When you get into that kind of thing with low turnout.
Was it 30%? Is that what it was?
Around that, 30, 35%. Yeah, that was a nothing thing.
And Woodside lost by what? 1,000 votes? That's not a lot. He pissed off so many people, so many issues.
He didn't really. There was no issue. There was nothing. Nobody was pissed off at him outside of you.
Outside of me. Okay, let's talk about me. What do you think of the verdict?
Well, you're pretty lucky.
I'm pretty lucky.
Well, sure, to have 3 different stories. If they'd only had the one story, you'd have been sunk. A big deal. It was nothing anyway. It'd be a $100 fine. But it's nice to be exonerated and have the world know that you were almost innocent.
Almost innocent. You still okay? So.
Well, that's the way it works.
They wanted me to sign a peace bond.
Well, yeah.
They spent 2 or 3 hours wanting me to sign a peace bond.
The weaker the case is, the more they want a peace bond. Because they don't want the embarrassment of the prosecution likes to win them all.
So,
which is horseshit.
This should have never been in court in the first place.
Yeah, really. They can't dismiss it. Somebody puts in a complaint about an assault. The prosecutors will not dismiss it. At that, they'll say, let the judge decide, because there's too much shit that goes on with too many people if they haven't laid charges. Next thing you know, there's a big fight or a murder, or somebody gets shot as a result of them not laying the charge. So the police have taken rid of all their responsibility on assaults. They lay the charge. And that's it. It had nothing to do with that's policy.
What about the summary thing? The summary. Don't have the right to a lawyer. If I would have never had a lawyer raise the money.
Well, no, summary just means you're not likely to go to jail.
And I'm not going to get a lawyer. I'm not going to get a lawyer from legal aid because it's a summary.
Well, you can't because there's no chance of going to jail, and that's their policy. They're saying if you have no chance of going to jail, you don't get free lawyers. That's all.
So if it would have never been for the support of the public, I would have been in jail, or I would have been found guilty.
Maybe. If you'd had the same, you could have picked up a legal aid lawyer and done the same job. It's not difficult. Yours wasn't a difficult case. You put the witnesses on, you have 2 or 3 stories. The judge says, I don't necessarily believe anything, but I got 3 stories. Not guilty.
The lawyer didn't want me to take the stand. He even made me sign papers not to take the stand. So if I would have never took the stand, it would have been the word of a witness and that idiotic so-called poet.
And you got your chance, and you shouldn't do that. On that situation, you should have taken the stand.
I shouldn't or should?
Should have.
Yeah, because it's 2 against 1, right?
Well,
I mean, 2 stories. 2 stories.
It was 2 stories.
2 familiar stories.
But with 3, the judge has got 3 stories now. All of a sudden, there's nothing to go on.
No.
And even with 2, you're taking your chances by not going on the stand. It's human nature to say, why didn't he go on the stand? And
after the
juries
fact.
Especially, they convict when you don't go on. And a lot of people don't believe in putting their client on the stand.
What do you say that I say if you know you're not guilty on the case?
Well, you're not guilty till the judge says you're guilty. So you're not guilty, period.
If you're not guilty, period.
Well, you're not guilty, period, until the judge says so.
And the police wants to talk to you. Should you say what you will say will be held against you?
Of course.
To a cop.
They want to talk to you. They want you to confess so they don't have to do any more work.
So really, bottom line, don't talk to a cop.
Well, of course not. Tell them nothing.
Nothing.
I know. Why should you? You're doing their job for them.
Why did Dennis Holman talk to a cop?
Maybe he was innocent. I don't know why people...